You devs just never learn. We don't play games to get a dose of reality. We play games to escape it. Life is fucked. I just lost someone very dear to me. We hear this woke garbage on a daily basis in real life. When we pay for a game, we want to pay for a game, not a mentally ill character that mutilated their genitals and whines about it. If you waste any time on anything considered woke, we aren't buying your trash anymore. That being said, I do feel compassion for trans people. We should be telling them that they have a mental condition, that they can't change their sex, that harming themselves by carving their body up irreversibly won't help them, that liking dolls doesn't mean you are a woman, that being a tomboy is fine, and that life is just not fair. This nonsense is now being pushed onto kids. Our kids. We are giving those who would rather choose to eat crayons for dinner the choice to give them drugs to castrate themselves. We tell schizophrenia patients that there isn't a man in the corner talking to them. Why? Reason being, just because they believe that they are talking to someone, and even if it might hurt their feelings, we tell them the truth because the goal is to pull them back into reality. Why do we not do this same thing with this woke delusion? You tell fat people that they are beautiful and healthy the way they are, and then they die at 30. You try and force women in games to be ugly to try and keep this narrative so that this is the norm. You tell black people they are oppressed when they are in the most free country in the history of the world. And then they believe it and stay down instead of making something of their lives. You add this into your games to indoctrinate people to this lie of oppression. You tell women that they have it the hardest, and then they go out, act like entitled children, and treat men like garbage. You make women look more competent and useful than men in games, and make men bumbling idiots who need to be saved. You tell everyone that diversity is important in everything, and we hire unqualified people because they are a certain sex or have a specific shade of color. And this also shows in how bad your games are. I don't care if your staff is all black, all white, all men, or all women, as long as they were the most qualified for the job. And this is a big one. Use this diversity to force characters into a game. It shouldn't matter. It destroys immersion, turns attention away from the story. It pisses people off, but you keep doing it. Next, we have LGBTQ pride. This one is pathetic. You say you want to be just like us, and then when we say okay, you put yourselves on a pedestal, put straight people down, shamefully make a month to celebrate something so dumb when veterans who give their lives only get a fucking day, and then force this to be in games. I'm fine with you being straight, gay, lesbian, or whatever, but I'm of the opinion that two same sex kissing is disgusting, and I don't want to see it. Real life is one thing, it's a free country, but why in a game? I get that you want to push it as the norm, but it isn't. We as humans are going extinct. Our reproductive rate is so low with killing our unborn children, going for mates that they cannot reproduce with, abandoning men's issues, causing them to turn to MGTOW or just plain giving up on women completely, and culture with strong, independent women, that we may not be able to pull our numbers for this generation past the point of no return. 2.1 is the minimum before we die off. We have dropped over half the rate in only 70 years. Feminism has fucked us. Next, we have gender identity. This is nonsense. This has gone so far that people are scared to even give the definition of women to avoid being canceled or hurt someone's feelings. We have way bigger problems than you waking up today and deciding that you want to be called sir. I used to have long hair, and I had a guy walk up to me and call me ma'am. I didn't get offended. I started laughing because he had a point. If your life is so good that you have to make problems, you have a good life. Don't believe me? Give all your money away and start living out on the street. You'll realize very quickly you care more about what you're going to eat than the person who gave you money calling you sir or ma'am. You could be doing something productive with your life, but instead you choose to be a victim. You all push this nonsense on all of us, telling us if you don't like it, don't buy it, which EA still hasn't apologized for. You ban those who disagree with you, even going so far to ban anyone who was a fan of Asmongold. You whine and suppress review bombing, which is the same as positive review bombing for supporting this woke nonsense, which is allowed to do, by the way. Hypocrisy much? And then you and your journalists continue to lie about how successful this was. And you all know this failed. You gave up on DLC and you moved on to Mass Effect to start ruining that next. I didn't even go over the rest of this woke garbage you put in games, but I shouldn't have to. You want to make a successful game? It's pretty easy. No woke shit, no real life or parody political shit, no indoctrination, no lectures of real life in any way. Release a full game and don't release the other parts of it as DLC. Make it stable, make it optimized, remove garbage anti-piracy algorithms that slow the game down for slower end systems, remove as many breaking bugs as possible, treat your player base with respect, charge a decent price for the content, let them get immersed in the game, forgetting how fucked real life is, and just make it fun. The customer is always right in matters of taste. We know what we want. You get to decide, do you want our money or do you want to fail?